So you mentioned kind of new and emerging technologies. Near the end of your tenure at Enbridge, you were very involved in this power to gas project. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so power to gas is becoming more mainstream in different parts of the globe. Here in North America, still fairly new. But think of it as sector coupling in one way. In Australia, they'd call it hydrogen hubs. In Europe, sector coupling would mean convergence of wires, pipelines, transportation space, and the core of it is a technology called water electrolyzers. So DC electricity, water into a device that basically will split that water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. In many cases, we just vent the oxygen to the atmosphere, but that hydrogen is now recovered. And if the supply of electricity is from clean or renewable supplies, you now have a clean or renewable supply of hydrogen. And the beauty is really in the flexibility of that once you have the hydrogen. You can direct that energy now to long-term storage by injecting in the natural gas grid. You can store it, bring it back to the electricity grid through existing gas-fired generators. You could use fuel cell stationary products to bring that back as electricity. But you can now start to target the transportation sector with more tools than just electric vehicles. So a fuel cell electric vehicle would have a fuel cell, small battery, but your supply is now hydrogen to create the energy needed for transport. And in heavy-duty trucking, in rail, we're seeing Alstom in Germany bringing fuel cell commuter trains, completely eliminating the need for overhead electric infrastructure for electrified rail. I think when you start to look at what I brought forward for Enbridge, they sent me out to find energy storage. That was the real mantra, and that's becoming a bigger need for today's economy.
Yeah.
It's often said if you like wind and solar, you're going to have to love storage.
Right.
To that I add that if you love storage, you're going to have to look at pipelines. And that's the next phase. We brought North America's largest power to gas plant at 2.5 megawatts to service the electric grid.
Yes.
It starts its life in what we call grid stabilization. Okay. As we bring more renewables, we get more variable supply.
Yes.
We have variable demand.
Yes.
You need to smooth that out in a second-by-second basis, or if you don't, you end up with a problem like the 2003 blackout through much of the eastern US and central Canada. And that grid stabilization is something the electrolyzers provide. You can add either more generation or take generation off, or you can add more load or take load off to provide the same stability.